check.
Check, check, check.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Hive is live. Bring your vision. This is how we build.
All right, we're ready.
1 million cups.
I have missed your woos. Is this working? Yeah. All right, Tania. I was thinking about when you were here and we do the... And everybody be like... Awkward. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Woo! Thank you for being here. Welcome to 1MC. Wow, I like that. Maybe I should just get off the stage. You guys can all just come up here and holler and yell. We have a really special, cool presentation today. I did want to remind you to scan the QR code. It was up. So we can track who's here, because we're moving up in the ranks of 1MCs in the nation. I think we're at 3 now. That's pretty big. I know. Yeah, we're moving up. So we're getting some recognition, which is right. All because of all of you showing up on a Wednesday at 9:30, which is really great. Again, our sponsors, the Hive Always and the Event Nanny, who's great back there. If you haven't looked in there, check out the space. Ah, there she is. There's Becky. And then, of course, our friends at Lonely Pine downstairs. So just always thanking all of our sponsors and all of you for being here. And then I did want to do a couple things. Trever Yarrish is our presenter today, so I thought, heckling is allowed. Sorry, Trev. It's Trevor. I know he can handle it. And then I just wanted to do a shout out to Eric Palmer, my friend and partner in ecosystem building. 4 years ago or 5 years ago, I said, hey, do you want to help build an ecosystem? And he foolishly said yes. So, so anyway, we've created the Design and Build, which is now the qualifying event for Invent Oregon. So I just think we've done some good work. So thank you for being here. Yeah, and then also, I would like someone to stand really quick. Tania Browning, Mayor of Central Point. Woo! I just wanted to say Tania was one of the organizers, whatever we were, in the beginning when we started. So I miss her all the time, and I love when she was on stage. I don't know if you were in here, but she has those big woos and really got us going and made us dance and breathe. So maybe she'll honor us afterwards, Trevor, with some special dancer. I don't know. But... I don't know, I don't know. But I just want to say thank you again for your partnership and continued support. So absolutely adore you. Thank you. All of you in the room, super appreciative because what we're doing would not be possible. So today, Trever Yarrish is going to take the stage and kind of blow our minds on something that he and the fabulous Terry Hopkins have worked on and brought to our community that is much like the 1MC. I think it's like a legacy type project, forever changing leadership and how we look at leadership. And so I am going to invite Trever to the stage and stop talking.
So the room is set up a little differently today. There's a lot more chairs and tables out. I'd like to say I set this room up expecting a large crowd, but we did have an event last night, and it's still set up from that. So rest assured, it's not my ego that set up the room. This time, exactly. So this is an update, really, because we have presented on the Rogue Leadership Training experience in the past here, and so this is an update to that. So here we go. Grants Pass doesn't have a leadership shortage problem. For a while, I called what we have a pipeline problem, and I've heard that from other people as well, that we maybe don't have leaders being developed in our community, stepping up to play roles and leadership roles in our community. And I actually believe that the people who run our businesses, our boards, the city, for the next 10 years and beyond are actually in this room, right? We have many of those people here, and all of you play a lot of those roles. Not just our community, but also in the communities of the valley, right? Tanea? That's right, Miss Mayor. So the pipeline is sort of the wrong picture because a pipeline indicates one by one lining up, going through a system and developing in that way. What we actually have, I believe, is a constellation problem. And so I want you to hold that thought. I'm gonna show you what I mean when I say the constellation problem, and I'll get into that now. So last October, we really got to work trying to start to fix this problem. And for anyone new in the room, how many people weren't here for the last presentation of Rogue Leadership? Yeah, awesome. So quite a few. So I'm gonna catch you up real quick. The Rogue Leadership Training Experience is an 8-month leadership program that we built here, Grants Pass and Josephine County. And we launched it in partnership with the Grants Pass and Josephine County Chamber of Commerce. Terry, big props, yeah, big hand for the chamber. And so Ashley Cruz of The Weekend and myself are the facilitators of the program. And All Care Health has been a title sponsor, at least for Cohort 1. Evergreen Federal Bank and Rentec Direct were cornerstone sponsors of the program to help make it possible. And it runs on a method that I call building the unbreakable. What does it mean to create resiliency within your community? What does it mean to build resiliency in the organizations in our community and within yourself? So there are effectively 5 primary containers. The first container is personal. Second one is interpersonal, so relationships between you and another person. Then organizational, civic, and community. And those are the 5 containers that we really work through and build out from. You get stronger in each one, and that expands outwards, because you can't lead a community well if you can't lead yourself well, right? And you can't lead community if you struggle in one-to-one relationships and working through difficult conversations, things like that. So cohort 1 ran October through May. We just finished the first cohort back in May. Yay. We had 32 leaders monthly. We did a full day session intensive here at the Hive. We also had interstitial events in between those monthly sessions where sometimes we'd bring in outside people to lead sessions. We had book authors. We did a bunch of different things in between. And that was effectively what the cohort consisted of. So back to the constellation problem. And here's what I mean. Most leadership models build pyramids, right? Where you have the one person at the top and everyone aligns underneath that person. The pyramid is really only as good as that one person's leadership abilities. And the pyramid sort of falls apart when that person falls. A town doesn't run on a pyramid, right? A town runs on something else, this sort of concept on the right, which is we are building this constellation, different constellations for each of the needs and problems and issues that we have, not just in our towns, but also in our organizations. And so constellations are individual leaders, organizations, each one sort of burning on their own as a star, and it's the connections between them and the pattern that forms, that is what that creates the constellation. And each issue a town has or an organization has a different constellation. It requires different skill sets, different people, different organizations to come together to solve those problems. So the shape sort of is the point. That connective tissue is the point, building that connective tissue. And we've talked a little bit in here about building relationships between each other and networking. So you are sitting in a constellation right now, right? You just, if you look around, nobody here reports to anybody else. No org chart got you here out of bed and here on a Wednesday morning. And you showed up because something being built in this town, there's something being built and you want to be near it. You want to be part of it. You want to share, you want to contribute to it, you want to learn from it. And so this gathering every week, this building, the Hive really exists so that big things conceived in Grants Pass have somewhere to grow into themselves. Somebody walks in with an idea and walks out with 3 people who want to help them. And that's the work that I know Kim is very dedicated to that work. I'm also dedicated to that work. Many of you are dedicated to that work. So that is the constellation working. Rogue Leadership Training Experience exists so people leading those things can grow at the same rate as the things they lead. And that's what we're working to build. So what actually happened in cohort 1? Here's the update part. There are 32 leaders finished, and sort of my favorite part of this, I mean, there's lots of favorite parts, but one of my favorite parts is that the program asked every cohort to complete a capstone project. And I said, yeah, there was a letter A in there, a capstone project. This cohort chose to do 2 capstone projects against, the pushback. And hey, let's not be overzealous, but they are not just overzealous, but they're already making these things happen. They want to build some real things and tangible things. They want something that's physically can be seen and interacted with, as well as something that contributes to building leaders in the community. So they also created their own criteria. They mapped the constellation required for these projects to happen. And then that image on the far right there is actually a picture of them at one of their first capstone session meetings. It wasn't here, it was at Boys and Girls Club. That is one of the partners that they selected. So the first cohort, the first capstone is they selected, and this is that visual present in the community piece, which is project was brought to us, and it's for developing this artwork, big physical piece of artwork that will go yet to be determined, but possibly Riverside Park or some places around the community. And so it's the I Love Grants Pass photo opportunity, if you will, statement, and beautiful piece of art that we'll have for years to come. And then the other capstone was Teen Career Pathway Hub, and that's in partnership with the Boys and Girls Club. I'm super excited about how that's developing. They have internship programs that currently they serve all of those internships at the club. This cohort is looking to help create the sort of external internship opportunities by bringing businesses to the table. They want to do podcasting, so the group is looking to help build out a podcast studio and bring the partners to the table. There's a number of pieces to that capstone, and so I'm super excited that that's being built out, and that actually is creating opportunities for more leadership development in the community and partnering. And one of the big criteria, sort of guardrails, there were a couple of guardrails in place, and one of them was it can't be just labor. Your capstone can't just be, oh, you're fundraising, or you're showing up and helping assemble beds or something like that. Not that those aren't great things to do, but those aren't capstone leadership problems to solve. The other piece was that it can't just be a one-to-one experience, you working with one organization. the goal is to find problems that require the constellation, that require us to bring organizations together. So one of the organizations that will be working on this second capstone is Project Youth Plus. There's going to be others that come to the table that will be required to help build out this programming. So I'm super excited about that. So this is sort of the part that most updates sort of skip, which is the hard part, because this one turned out to be both the hardest thing and the proof. 2 months into the cohort, I lost my father. And it sort of took me away from the cohort physically for, a couple of weeks, but mentally for longer than I sort of expected it to knock me down, if you will. But here's what happened while I was sort of out of the picture a little bit. The cohort, they didn't pause. They didn't wait for me. They brought themselves together and they did the work. They held the container without sort of me, the person who was effectively built it and was, holding it all that time. And they supported me in ways that I really don't have words for even now. Like, it was a beautiful, amazing thing, and it was the working, right? So the container, it held. And the honest other side is it took me a few months to fully get my footing back, and there are pieces of cohort 1 that, in my eyes, lost momentum because of that, right? Like, when I stepped out, there were things, we had great momentum, discussion boards, all these things going. I stepped out, and some of that momentum that were my responsibilities to carry were slowed down. And that's something I look back at, and I'm like, okay. But at the end of the day, the cohort held, the containers held, and they became stronger because I wasn't there, and they came closer together as a cohort in my absence, which was amazing to see, So thank you. How many people from cohort 1 are actually here? I think there's only just 1 right now. Awesome. Okay, see, I didn't have a bunch of plants. So cohort 2 is going to get hopefully a steadier hand, if you will, and gets structures that won't depend on one person. We're building out some more infrastructure. We're creating something that will be less, like I said, less dependent on me personally to function and operate. But none of this happens alone. And so I did want to, Terry is in the room, and the Grants Pass Josephine County Chamber, they didn't just endorse the program or have an idea that they wanted to launch a leadership program. We built it together and sat for hours and hours and months building out the concept, building out all of the pieces and parts, and really figuring out who needed to be in the room to help the cohort be successful, how we were going to design all of those pieces. And but Terry wasn't just a partner in it. Terry decided that he was going to sit in the cohort as well. So so Terry, can you come up for a second? I'd just love for you to share what you saw, like, from inside the container. Woo! Terry Hopkins.
Yeah, thanks, Trevor. Kind of rewinding before we get back into the container. I mean, when we set out to do this, we took a look at models. Trevor had been part of Tony Robbins, Gordon Elwood. We've seen here locally Ford Family Foundation. So we've seen some models for leadership training. But I really wanted to, and again, we spent months upon hours, and say, how do we make this hyper-local? And not just walk away as a better person, a better leader within my business or organization, but how are we inspiring change in our community and really wrapping in some civic leadership? And I'm glad you saved this part for me, because as happy as I am to have Tania here, City of Grants Pass, I mean, in that month 5, when we started to move into the city engagement, and we go back and talk to the people, and what was the most impactful? In day 1, I was the only one when we were talking about interpersonal leadership. I'm like, oh shit, what did I sign up for? I don't want to reflect on myself. I want to build teams. I want to build community. Let's focus on somebody else's problems, not mine. And everybody else in the cohort was like, no, I'm okay with this. I don't want to get into the politics. And we went to the city of Grants Pass, and Aaron, as city manager, showed up. We had the police chief, we had the fire chief, we had public works director. And again, we moved from the skills it takes to have hard conversations. We had wildly diverse people within our cohort. The Trever and I had some behind the scenes conversations about, boy, are we putting oil and water together here, and how's this gonna work out? And we did. We totally strategically did.
And we figured out how to mix oil and water, just so you know.
And nothing completely blew up. We did have some quite fun and some tough conversations, but moving into the civic piece, and again, in that constellation building, I think people just walked away with, wow, who would have ever thought I would be excited to hear about the guy who runs public works and water and sewer, and Jason Kennedy shows up and just fired up about sewer. Aaron shows up and is just super fired up and engaging. And so again, that constellation, we had nonprofits, we had for-profits, we had public, we had private. We were fortunate to receive some funding from Southern Oregon Youth Works. I'm surprised Tyler's not here, but we had cohort participants who were excused from high school one day a month that came in, actually probably ended up becoming our strongest member. But Mary graduated Grants Pass High School this year, but she got to skip school one Thursday a month to come participate. So we had, kids, young adults, adults starting at 17 years old, all the way up to people who were at the peak of their career or maybe retired and just giving back to the community. And Trever, I mean, thank you. It was, I came in expecting to be a co-designer and an architect of this program. I had no intention of being part of it, and it was quite incredible. Thank you.
Appreciate you, Terry. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, and originally I think Terry was just gonna sort of audit at first, and then he just got completely sucked in and went through the cohort. So that's amazing, and amazing for cohort 1. So back to 1MC, and sorry, Kim, I'm wrapped up right here. Here we go. So what we could use help with first is cohort 2 starts in October, and it's effectively 30 seats is what we're looking to fill. We have some room to flex in either direction, depending on who shows up. But we're not collecting resumes. We're looking for the person on your team or in your life who is already, or they're ready for more than their job description, right? They show up in a different way. People who are natural connectors, and also people who are natural doers, overperform at times, and are always looking for maybe that growth piece. They're growth-minded. And so the one that you would hate to lose at your organization potentially, if somebody just came to mind, then please share their names with me this week. We are starting to fill the applications. Are definitely rolling in, and there's quite a few of them. But we are really looking for the right composition in our cohorts. So we do look at sort of roles in the community. We look at, we try to have a nice cross-section of different demographics as well. So we can have that reflection of our community here in the room for the cohort, because it really is a safe place to practice community and civics and all of these other pieces. So if you or someone you know, that would be amazing. And then the second is believers. The cohort 1 was empowered to happen because All Care Health, Evergreen Bank, and Rentech Direct believed in this before there was any proof, before we had done a single cohort. And so there is proof now, and there are amazing things happening in the community through this cohort and through the people in this cohort. They were already doing amazing things, but there's more amazing things happening because of the connections made in this room going through that process over those 8 months. So if you run a business that believes building leaders is how you build a town, I'd love to have a conversation with you. And you can sponsor a seat or sponsor a scholarship for someone else to go through the program. That's another thing that we have available. Or just come see what we're doing and see it, for yourself. Participate yourself. And so those are the two big pieces that we are always looking to. That's the cycle that we're in, right? And so I believe that the next sort of 30 stars are already obviously in this town. Some of them are maybe in this room, so just help me find them. And I appreciate you all. Thank you for the support. There's been a ton of support in this room, people supporting this work and this effort, and I just say thank you. Again, thank you, Terry and the Chamber, and I would love to open up some questions.
Can you tell us just a little bit more about how this is all funded? Who's coming up with the money? Who's paying for whom? Those kinds of questions.
Sure,
Thanks.
yeah. So the cost breakdown effectively is it costs about $2,500 per cohort member to run the program for the 8 months. And then there's also, we feed everybody as well during those sessions. And so what we work on is we try to get the individual costs down to about $1,500 per person. So because that's a more manageable amount to be able to participate in a program like this. So we try to offset the cost to bring that individual cost down. And then in addition to that, we love scholarshiping because not everybody that we think should be in this program are in a position to afford to be in the program, at least in that moment, right? So we create opportunities for scholarshiping people in, so basically covering that other $1,500 to help them get through the door. There's also, and again, all of that covers, we give books to people. There's a lot of things, materials. There's a pretty hefty workbook that is built over the course of the program. And then the meals. We do, every major session, there are meal sponsors effectively available. And we had incredible meals. I'm not gonna lie, they were really good. Terry, obviously having his past in hospitality, he brought in a variety of different folks providing meals. And each of those months was sponsored by a business that was supporting the work we do here. So does that help?
Fantastic, thank you.
Great.
So I don't have a question, I actually have a comment for you.
Nicholas, what's up?
It's a very interesting topic, and I love hearing you speak about this. I think you're solving a modern variation to an age-old problem that humankind has always had, and that's the continuation of knowledge. It's the continuity of what we know and passing it along. Because if you walked away today, what would we lose for leadership? What would we lose in your connections? What would we lose completely if you separated yourself today? So we need more people like you doing what you're doing. Thank you.
Cheers.
Ditto. Oh, did you have a rebuttal?
Yes, Miss Mayor.
Okay. Madam Mayor's fine, thank you. No, just kidding.
Madam Mayor.
Just kidding. Oh my God, it's so fun. So you and I have chatted about this before. Incredible program. And I wanted to be part of it. I was rejected. No, hard no, can't do it. Not from the area. Value that. That's great in knowing exactly what you want for your community and having those boundaries.
It is for Josephine County
Just Josephine
residents.
County. So my question is, do you see an opportunity to grow, mentor, franchise? Because I'm looking at this going, holy shitballs, I want this for my, yeah, the mayor says that.
Beep.
She does.
In meetings too, by the way.
She does. It's recorded. I'm just kidding. I never say
Aaron,
it from the
imagine,
dais.
just imagine.
I am so fun. But really wanting to bring it to my city, how do we grow this? And I know it takes the whole constellation, but where are you in creating the next step where it can grow and impact even more? And how do we on the outside wanting to help that happen?
I swear this is not a plant, but fantastic question, Madam Mayor. We actually are looking to scale and empower other rural communities to leverage our program and our platform. We also have a software component that helps manage and run and create connective tissue between those full day sessions so that we can stay in cohort with each other even in between those sessions because they're a month apart effectively. So we are right now in works with launching our first sort of second, I guess, city, which is Cottage Grove. So Cottage Grove Leadership Training Experience hopefully is coming this fall. We're working on that right now. But I would...
On your second choice?
No. You could beat them to the punch. You could actually decide, let's do this. It's just, it hasn't started yet. You could win. We could start it sooner. And if any of the rest of you run a small town in Oregon, I would love to talk with you. Awesome, fantastic. Yes, it is a scalable model. It's a replicable model. That was, like, the goal is to have it hyper-focused on our community, build it for the people that are here with the people that are here, supported by the people that are here, to build resiliency as a community. So when stuff goes on in the world, we weather that storm better here by coming together and solving our own problems, right? That said, that model is something that I hope is strong enough and is a good enough model that other communities can benefit from it as well. Ford Family Foundation is making lots of connections between us and other rural communities to help expand and take this work into other communities. Yes?
How quickly can you scale? Because I'm thinking, as a past president of the League of Oregon Cities, there are 400 cities, 421 cities, right? And
Yeah.
of those, 90% are small towns that have their own constellation that don't have that system. So
That's right.
can you present? Are you able
Yes.
to scale that quickly?
We sure can. Scaling is really just a constellation issue, right? So we just have to build some strong bonds quickly and create, figure out who the key players are. The other piece is it has to be led locally. So we identify a facilitator. Our program is very robust. There's facilitator guides and all of the things, but there's training involved. So we do have to find the person that has the spark and has the ability to lead a cohort in their region, in their city. So, yeah. Jerry.
Is this on? Yeah, I know you guys. So how much of an online element is there with this to drive the in-person, the Waffle House theory? You set up a Waffle House, every other Waffle House is like that Waffle House. Here's your refrigeration, here's your chairs, here's your kitchen. Are you going to be able to create something that is, take it out of the box and make it work? Or is that a goal?
Well, the answer is yes. So we do have, we have a full software platform that has all of the curriculum baked into it. Matter of fact, part of how this started is Terry, with the chamber, wanted to start a leadership program for the community, for the business community and the community at large. I was working on an online course at the time, doing leadership training. And Terry and I have been friends since high school. We've known each other for a long time. Matter of fact, I'm having my 30th reunion this summer. So, yeah, I'm old. But all of that to say, yes, there is software behind it. It is something that could be facilitated online in the future. That's not, like, the way that the software is built and the intention of the platform is not to pull people into the platform, it is to facilitate us being in space with each other and coming together and doing work together. So it facilitates the work in between the times when we can be together, and then it helps push us together into space, because I believe that this is really how we are in community with each other. That is a way to stay connected in between being in community with each other, if that makes sense.
So I guess just the lessons you've learned, the lessons you're going to learn with the second cohort, if somebody was like you and Terry were going, I'd like to do this for my small rural town, would it be advantageous if they could follow your blueprint?
Yeah, absolutely.
Even if it wasn't perfect, that they could go, well, we're going to do this, and here's this wonderful way. They've got a program that we can follow to make it much better, so they don't have to trip and stumble and fall and learn all the things we learn when we do something new.
Yeah, absolutely. We will be looking, it is a licensable platform and the curriculum, but we will be looking to bring leaders from other communities to train here. There will be training in Grants Pass. So we'll be looking to, this is another piece of the pie as well, which is to help build Grants Pass as a hub and a center for leadership development, for entrepreneurship development. And you're sitting in that container and it's growing, right? We're building something here. I truly believe that. And so, yes, and we will bring people here. We will go work with people there. I sit and help the facilitator for at least the first month in person, and then beyond that, we do one-on-ones, we do training sessions, and so, yeah.
Just one last thing. If you and Terry were going, hey, in the very first 2 days you talked about this, if there would have been something available like you're creating online, how much would have that helped you to do what you did? If your program, if you were the new guy,
yeah,
in Eagle Point or wherever, and you're going, we want to do this. If you go, hey, here's a blueprint, how much would that have helped you guys?
So my reflection back is to say that wasn't the intention. That's not the intention of the platform at the moment, right? So while I started out building a platform for people to do this stuff online and have an online cohort, I pivoted to building something that supports an in-person cohort. And as a result of that, I would say it's more reflective and connective. So it's a place, all the curriculum is there. It gets released on the day of our in-person session, so there's no, studying ahead or getting it, But at the same time, it's all there. The curriculum's there. You can go back and review it if you've been through it. It's very helpful to refresh on those things. All the tooling is there, the printouts, everything is available there. While at the same time, I would say that there are components. I would add a lot more video and things like that to make it something that someone could audit from afar, if you will, or take as an online course.
All right, hey, Joe Levi here.
Hey, Joe.
Thank you so much. Impressive information. I don't have a question, though. I have a pro-life hack for you. Ready?
I love life hacks.
Okay, you're going to your 30th reunion, right?
What's that?
Your 30th high school reunion?
Yes.
You just give me like a PTSD flashback. Hey, you, how's it going, fella? Look at the annual the night before you go to that party, because you will avoid all that. Hey, guy, how are you?
That's a good life hack.
Life tip for you.
Thank you very much. We actually are, someone is making up name tags that has the name and the picture from the yearbook. So that's the hack of the hack, if you will. Thank you. Thank you all so much. Taking that hat off, putting the other hat on, I appreciate you all showing up so much. So that guy that was presenting up on stage today appreciates every one of you for being here, asking amazing questions, and supporting the energy that it takes to bring, something like this into the world and keep supporting it. So thank you all so much. I appreciate you being here. We are past time by 3 minutes. I apologize for that. I try to keep a tight ship, but, every once in a while it leaks. So have a wonderful week. I'll see you all next Wednesday at 9:30.